In this video, we're exploring effective parenting, and you're already working really hard to raise confident, well-adjusted kids while you balance everything else that life throws at you. You're in the right place. My promise to you in this video is that you will get the 4 elements of positive parenting that are absolutely essential for effective parenting. And then right at the end, I've got a special gift for you just because you showed up today. Does that sound good? Let's get to those 4 elements. The first element of positive parenting is personal development. Now this surprises some people because how is that about parenting? Because you're a parent, you probably already know this. Parenting is the #1 personal development program on the planet. And you think about it, it makes sense, right? Where else do you get auto-enrollment? You get lots of opportunities to practice. There are huge rewards for success and multiple opportunities to try it again, to do the do-overs. I was interviewing Dr. Lily DeHoyo-Sanderson on my podcast, Live on Purpose Radio, and she's an expert in positive parenting. One of the things she says the #1 outcome of positive parenting is the parent. Listen to that again. The #1 outcome of positive parenting is the parent, not the kid. In fact, some of the kids are kind of goofy. Some of them do really great. Parenting matters for child development, but the #1 outcome is the parent. You will learn more about yourself as a parent and things you never wanted to know. I used to think I was so patient and so tolerant, and then I had kids, and I realized, oh, there's this part of me that wants to yell occasionally. It was a little jarring, honestly. And I find that with a lot of the parents that I work with too, because the kind of parent we promised we would be is not the person that we see in the mirror when our kids are driving us crazy. So you're not alone. It's not that you're doing it wrong. In fact, you are a benevolent, generous, loving parent. I already know that about you because you're here. You're a conscious parent who's taking this seriously. And thank you for that. Now, effective parenting doesn't mean perfection. It means that we understand these 4 elements of positive parenting and we put them in order. So as I share the first one with you, that positive parenting is all about personal development. Let's take a look and be open to whatever it is that we get to do personally to take care of us. And remember what they do on the airplanes. You know, during the safety routine when the air masks fall down, the oxygen masks, right? You know what I'm talking about. And they tell you if you're traveling with kids, put your own mask on first and then help the person that you're with. This goes against some of our programming. Our natural inclination is to take care of that little child that's with us. But if we're out cold in the aisle, we're just in the way. To really show up and be part of the solution, we got to take care of ourselves. Put your own mask on first. That is the first element of positive parenting. Here's the second one. Take care of the team. Take care of your team. Now, what's your parenting team? If you're in a marriage or a partnership, if you have a spouse or a parenting partner, that is your primary parenting team. If you're doing this on your own, and first of all, my hat goes off to you because parenting is not for the weak of heart, and to do it solo is a challenge. I've worked with so many single parents over the years. Thank you for your service. Even if you're not currently in a key relationship where you have a spouse or a parenting partner, you have a parenting team. I invite you to consider who is on your parenting team. Is it a sister? Is it a neighbor? Is it a niece? Is it a nephew? Is it someone that you can draw on for support and respite care and assistance? Do you have a mom helper that comes in occasionally? You've got me. Do you realize I'm part of your parenting team? You're welcome. I'm so honored to be there. The videos that we have here on the channel or other parenting resources, okay? You have a team. Take care of your team because this is never intended to be a solo kind of a proposition. And the more you can support that team, the more stable and solidified of an environment and a world you can offer to your kids. All right, so we got 2 down so far. Parenting is all about personal development. Take care of your team. Number 3, love your kids. This probably should go without saying, and most parents naturally do love their kids. But when I ask you, what is your job as a parent? What comes to mind? When I ask this in a seminar, a presentation, if I'm speaking to a community group, I get a lot of good answers. What's your job as a parent? It's to make sure that they're good citizens. Okay. It's to make sure that they're safe and healthy, and to make sure that they have everything that they need to thrive and have a good life. To make sure that they obey. It's to make sure that they get their homework done. It's to make sure that they make sure that they. Do you see the common theme here? This is a problem because we don't control them. And make sure that they becomes an increasingly more impossible task. And I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm saying we can't. Make sure that anything. I invite you to consider releasing that as your job. And just how does that feel? Right up front, how does that feel? When you consider your job as a parent and we're letting you off the hook. You are fired, by the way. You are fired from that job to make sure that anything. And you're rehired now for your true job, which is to love them no matter what. And even if. That's your job. And that's not particularly easy. It's easy to love them because they're your kids. And when they're obeying and being respectful, it's really easy. It's when they throw the even ifs at you that it becomes difficult. So are you ready to do this? Your job, to love them no matter what, even if they hate you, which they don't typically, but they might say they do. Even if they disobey, even if they defiantly scream in your face that you're the worst person on the planet. I'm totally making this up, right? No, you know that these things happen. And you've been tested on many of them. Be ready to answer that affirmatively no matter what, and even if. That's your job. That is the third element of positive parenting. Love your kids. It's not your job to make sure that they anything. I've still got one more element. I'm not going to leave you hanging. But because you love them, you want them to what? To obey? No. Not necessarily. I mean, that's a means to an end. You want them to have a good, happy, productive life. Is that fair? And because of your life experience, you believe that the best way for them to do that is to do it the way you think they should. The number one error we make as humans is that we believe what we think. And so as parents, we think, no, it's deeper. We know what's right for our kids. You notice that, and notice that that's kind of prideful too. And it's not that your experience is worthless. You have earned your opinion. That is true. But your job is not to make sure that they do any of that. It's to love them no matter what, and even if, and especially when, they go contrary to what you think they should be doing. Once your mind shift takes that on as your primary job, then we can go to number 4. You ready for that? Fourth element of positive parenting is effective discipline. All right, now I've spent a lot of my career coaching parents around what effective discipline looks like. I've developed a model that is so powerful, and I think this is one that every parent needs to know. And I'll give you a copy of this, okay, so that you can have it and review what I've done there as an introduction. Go to the URL on the screen, drpauljenkins.com/stages, where we will talk about 3 stages of moral development and what your parenting job is at each of those stages. I'll put that into your hands. It's not the purpose of this video to go into that in detail, but I got a little gift for you as soon as we get through this last point. Appropriate discipline is not about manipulating our kids to do what we want them to do. It's about empowering them with the principles that allow them to make good, principle-based decisions throughout their life. And it's not just about say no to drugs or try to avoid bullying. Those are simply side effects of principle-based decision-making. And how can they apply that across all aspects of their life. Why? Because we love them and we want them to experience a joyful life. But making sure that they have a joyful life is not our job. It's their job. And our job is to love them, no matter what and even if. Because we love them, we're going to practice appropriate, structured discipline in a way that helps them to learn. The word discipline has the same root as the word disciple, which at its root means learning, being open and humble and teachable, learning. So that's what discipline is all about. It's not about punishing or retribution or showing them who's boss. It's about learning, and learning specifically the principles that allow us to create and live a life that we love. Okay, you got the 4 elements, right? Now I promised you a gift too, and my gift is an in-depth web class, and there's one coming up soon. You can register for that for free. I'm not going to charge you anything for this. This is my gift to you, where we'll go into more depth and detail, particularly on this model that I shared with you earlier. And all you have to do is go to drpauljenkins.com/parenting. This one was /stages, if you want a copy of the model. /parenting will take you right to that web class. You'll be able to register for free, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening.